Picture this. We're about to delve into the fascinating world of welfare, but this isn't your typical investigation. Welfare, a term often clouded in controversy, sparking heated debates. Some label it a waste of money, a safety net for the idle. But when you blend money and human behavior, you're in for a real-life drama, filled with unexpected twists and turns. Did you know that between 11 and 13% of individuals on public assistance might not actually need it? Some are masters at gaming the system, while others boldly commit outright fraud. It's a story that rivals the best drama series, but this one's real. So if you're ready to explore, learn, and maybe share a few laughs, let's bypass the cliches and dive headfirst into our expedition through the top 7 states with the highest welfare rates. It's a deep dive into the intricate tapestry of socio-economic factors, and we're your unconventional tour guides through this uncharted territory. So without further ado, let's unveil the hidden stories of welfare in America. Number 7. Illinois. Illinois, the land of Lincoln, where bustling Chicago shares its spotlight with some less glamorous stories. It's a state that stands apart, much like that one pesky neighbor who keeps trying to sell you solar panels. Now, Illinois and Florida hold a unique distinction on our list. They're the rare duo found both in the top 10 states for welfare rates and in the sheer number of folks on welfare. Of course, California might win the most people title, but that's because it's practically a county of its own. The story in Illinois, though, is a complex one. Poverty, with its many shades and faces, has been a long-standing guest in the state. While Chicago sparkles with grandeur, it's not shy about its less glamorous neighborhoods. Some are downright scary and sadly impoverished, so much so that even the relentless solar panel salespeople hesitate to knock on those doors. By the way, do you get those home refinance letters with pictures of your house? It's like they're trying to outdo the solar panel folks in the creepiness department. Illinois, despite its urban glitz, bears the weight of poverty, boasting a welfare rate of 13,908 residents for every 100,000. Number 6. Alabama. Sweet tea, poverty, and the crimson tide. Alabama's 3 cornerstones. If you've never been to an Alabama football game, let me tell you, it's a wild experience. These folks love their team more than a triathlete loves a fresh gulp of air. Now, I know, it's the cinnamon tide. But hey, I once had a Mississippi friend who kept calling them the cinnamon tide. Who knew sports rivalries could be so spicy? Alabama, with its rich history and great folks, is in a constant tug-of-war with poverty. It's like the neighbor who has their lights on but forgot to pay the power bill. The poverty rate here has long hovered near the top of the national charts. In 2021, 16% of the population lived below the poverty line, while the rest of the nation averaged 10.5%. Right now, the nation's poverty rate remains at 10.5%, but Alabama has shaved it down to 15.2%. A bit of progress for sure, but they still have a significant number of folks on welfare. Alabama's welfare rate stands at 14,358 residents for every 100,000, making it a persistent challenge for this charming state. Number 5. Oklahoma. Welcome to the heartland of the United States, where Oklahoma has been wrestling with financial hardships for as long as folks can remember. Now, despite boasting one of the nation's finest farming sectors, a significant chunk of its population finds itself in a struggle. It's like an intricate food chain where every piece plays a role. You see, when you mess with one part, the entire ecosystem takes a hit. Take education, for example. If you're not offering quality education, new industries won't venture into your territory. They need skilled workers, and that high-tech job market? Forget about it. And when jobs dwindle, poverty swoops in, the crime rate spikes, and politicians get anxious. The tricky part is that investing in education takes time to yield tangible results, something most politicians aren't too keen on. They prefer quick fixes. Now, rural Oklahoma faces a set of unique hurdles like limited access to healthcare and public services. These are like speed bumps on the road out of poverty, slowing progress. And while Oklahoma might not be the worst state on the list, it's teetering on the edge. No amount of oil drilling can keep the ship steady if these issues aren't addressed. Oklahoma's welfare rate stands at 14,648 residents for every 100,000, a sign that they're in for an uphill battle. Number 4. Mississippi. You might have thought they'd clinch the number 1 spot, but here they are, hanging out comfortably at number 4. Now for most states, that might be cause for a little embarrassment, but not for Mississippi. They're treating this as a modest achievement, deserving of a polite golf clap. You see, when I mentioned Mississippi in one of my videos, someone out there thought I'd never set foot in the state. To set the record straight, I shared a few pictures of my adventures across Mississippi, and the response? Well, let's just say I received a rather artistic rendition of certain male anatomy, thoughtfully pointing in the direction of my face. Ah, the wonders of the internet. Now, I'm not just refraining from sharing feet pics, I'm keeping my entire photo gallery under lock and key. Number 3. West Virginia. For this one, where rugged landscapes, a rich history, and cultural gems collide with some formidable socio-economic challenges. Nestled within the Appalachian Mountains, this state boasts scenic beauty, but beneath this picturesque surface, the burden of poverty looms large. This isn't a recent predicament. West Virginia has been wrestling with poverty for quite a spell. It's akin to a neighbor who insists on using the dimmest porch light on the block and somehow keeps forgetting to pay the electricity bill. A significant portion of their struggle traces back to their heavy reliance on the coal industry, which once was their ticket to prosperity. However, as the coal industry nosedived, numerous communities found themselves reeling in the economic darkness. And just when you thought things couldn't get any more challenging, a 1-2 punch hit, the opioid crisis. As coal jobs dwindled, opioid addiction skyrocketed, creating a perfect storm of problems. Number 2. Louisiana. Louisiana, a state nestled right in the heart of the American South. It's what you'd call a deep South state. Much like its neighbor Mississippi, the rural regions of Louisiana have been grappling with poverty for what seems like ages, dating back to the days of the Great Depression. In fact, it's almost as if some parts of Louisiana and Mississippi never quite managed to break free from the grips of the Great Depression. But here's something fascinating. There's this brilliant documentary called Happy that went on a journey to explore what makes people truly happy and where you find the happiest folks in the United States. Surprisingly, they discovered it in Louisiana, particularly in the poorer areas. They dug deep to understand what made these people so happy. And guess what? The answer wasn't about wealth or possessions. It was about something far simpler yet profoundly meaningful. Family and friends. How close-knit were they? How often did they gather with their loved ones? Did they have frequent community celebrations and festivals? It's basic human connection that brought happiness, not material wealth. Now, isn't that a lesson worth noting? As much as we should know better, we humans often chase materialistic dreams, even though deep down we all understand that it's the simple, priceless moments that bring us true joy. Yet, in the backwoods of Louisiana, they've got it figured out. Number 1. New Mexico. Last but not least, the state that has been wrestling with the shadows of poverty for an extensive period. Much of this struggle revolves around the smaller, isolated communities that dot the landscape. It's no surprise that New Mexico consistently claims a top spot in the nation's poverty rate rankings. A complex web of factors entangles this issue, including over-reliance on a handful of industries, restricted access to quality education in certain regions, and a history of socioeconomic disparities among its diverse population. But let's not forget, they've been making strides in recent years. And there you have it, a whirlwind journey through the complex world of welfare, unveiling the top 7 states with the highest rates. It's not your usual exploration, but an adventure into the intricate web of socioeconomic factors that shape these regions. Welfare isn't just numbers, it's real people, real stories, and real resilience. Did any of these states surprise you? Or did you expect them to be on the list? What do you think can be done to address poverty and reduce welfare dependency in these regions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We can't wait to read your insights. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so you never miss any of our uploads. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.